The royal palace of Valaris was a marvel unlike any other in the known galaxy. Its spires reached high into the sky, glittering under the twin suns. The walls were not just stone, but a living crystal that shimmered with soft colors, changing according to the mood of those within. Outside, gardens floated in mid-air, supported by anti-gravity fields, and streams of glowing water ran through them, singing melodies no human ear had ever heard. Princess Liara walked swiftly through the grand halls, her silver-blue robes brushing the marble floors. Today was a day of curiosity and tension, one that would shake the court in ways few could imagine. Behind her followed a figure that looked entirely out of place among the alien elegance, a human Dot. He was tall and strong, with broad shoulders and unruly brown hair that caught the sunlight. His eyes were a warm hazel, full of cautious intelligence and quiet confidence. His name was Alex, and to most of the royal court he was an enigma. Liara paused before the throne room, where the queen sat, a regal figure adorned in robes of deep violet that seemed to absorb light. The queen's eyes, sharp and gray, rested on her daughter. "Mother," Liara said, bowing slightly but with a glint of pride in her eyes, "I want you to meet someone very important to me." The queen arched an eyebrow, her expression a mix of curiosity and caution. "Who is that?" she asked, her voice calm but carrying the weight of authority. Liara stepped forward, her hand brushing Alex's arm gently. "The human I married." The room fell silent. Courtiers and attendants froze, their eyes widening. Humans were rare in Valaris, almost legendary in their fragility and unpredictable nature. For one to marry a princess, especially someone as accomplished and clever as Liara, was unheard of. The queen's eyes narrowed slightly, studying Alex as if he were a puzzle. "You married her?" she asked, her tone measured but suspicious. Alex bowed his head slightly, keeping his posture respectful but firm. "Yes, Your Majesty," he said, his voice calm. "I married her, and I am honored to be here." A murmur ran through the court. Some courtiers whispered nervously to one another. "What is he thinking?" one muttered. "He doesn't even understand our customs." Liara placed a hand on Alex's arm. "He may not be from Valaris, but he is clever, brave, and loyal. I trust him, and I hope you will too, Mother." The queen leaned back, her fingers tapping against the armrest of her throne. "Trust is earned, human," she said slowly. "Your kind is known for unpredictability. How do I know you are worthy of my daughter or of this court?" Alex straightened, meeting the queen's gaze without fear. "I cannot claim to understand all your customs yet, Your Majesty, but I can learn, I can adapt, and I promise to do my best to serve this kingdom and its people." For a moment there was silence, broken only by the soft hum of the palace's energy fields. Then a young court official stepped forward, a thin, angular alien with 4 arms. "If he is to be here, he must prove himself," the official said, his voice sharp. "The princess's word is not enough." Liara frowned. "Mother, Alex, has already shown his worth in ways you cannot yet see." The queen's gray eyes softened slightly, though they remained cautious. "Very well, let us observe him. Perhaps he will surprise us. But mark my words, human, fail even once and you will answer to me personally." Alex inclined his head. "I understand." The first challenge came unexpectedly. A small group of palace assistants were attempting to repair a broken energy conduit, a glowing crystal line that powered part of the floating gardens. The crystal had cracked, causing a dimming of the garden lights. The assistants argued in their melodic alien language, unable to agree on how to fix it. Alex stepped forward. "May I try?" he asked. The assistants looked at him as if he had asked to juggle stars. "You cannot," one hissed. "Only those trained in Valerian energy manipulation may touch the conduits." Alex smiled faintly. "I may not have your training, but I have experience with technology. Sometimes different methods work better." The assistants hesitated, but Liara nodded encouragingly. Alex approached the cracked conduit, examining it closely. He noticed that the crystal segments were not aligned perfectly. using a simple human tool he had carried in his belt, a multi-purpose device he had invented. He gently tapped and adjusted the segments until the crystal glowed steadily. A soft cheer rose from the assistants, followed by stunned silence. The energy flowed perfectly, and the floating gardens brightened once again, their colors returning to full vibrancy. The queen watched quietly, her eyes narrowing with interest. "Remarkable," she murmured. "A human actually fixed it." Liara smiled. "See, Mother, he has a gift even if it is not Valerian." Even the skeptical officials were impressed. Some whispered that perhaps the princess's choice was not as reckless as they feared. Over the next few days, Alex observed the palace and learned quickly. He discovered Valerian etiquette, the complex political hierarchy, and the subtle customs of bowing, speaking, and even gift-giving. He made mistakes, tripping over ceremonial robes, mispronouncing alien words. But each time he adapted. One morning, a group of nobles invited Alex to a formal breakfast, intending to test him. They asked riddles in the alien language, discussed diplomatic protocols, and presented scenarios that would challenge any visitor. Alex listened carefully. He did not know all the answers, but he approached each question with calm logic, sometimes offering solutions that were unorthodox but effective. When a noble presented a question about managing scarce resources, Alex suggested a method that combined his human experience with basic alien principles, an idea that no one had thought of. The room fell silent, then erupted in murmurs of approval. Even the queen's advisors nodded slowly. Liara, sitting beside Alex, reached for his hand under the table. "I told you, Mother. He is more than he seems." Despite these successes, tension lingered. Some nobles whispered that a human could never truly belong in Valaris. One evening, as Alex walked through the palace gardens with Liara, he noticed small figures hiding in the shadows, watching him. "Who are they?" he asked. "Courtiers, who doubt you," Liara said softly. "They fear change. They fear what they cannot control." Alex looked up at the twin suns setting over the palace, casting golden light across the floating gardens. "Let them watch," he said. "I will show them humans are capable of more than they think. Not by force, but by doing the right thing." Quietly and well, Liara smiled, leaning her head on his shoulder. "That is why I married you." The next morning, an emergency arose. A small patrol drone had malfunctioned and was careening toward one of the lower gardens, threatening to destroy several delicate floating plants. The guards were panicked, unsure how to stop it without harming the plants. Alex assessed the situation quickly. He climbed onto a nearby maintenance platform and, using a combination of human tools and careful reasoning, managed to redirect the drone safely into a containment bay. The gardens were saved. The court erupted in applause, and the queen herself stepped forward. "You are unusual," she said. "It seems human that you may have talents our own people do not fully appreciate." Alex bowed. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only wish to serve this kingdom and my wife faithfully." Liara's eyes shone with pride. "You already are," she whispered. That evening, as the palace quieted, the queen summoned Alex to her private chambers. She studied him for a long time, her expression unreadable. "Human," she said finally, "you have survived your first tests. You have shown skill, intelligence, and courage, but the true test is not over. Our kingdom faces dangers beyond what you can imagine. You must be ready to prove yourself again." Alex nodded. "I understand. I will do whatever is necessary." The queen's stern expression softened, just slightly. "Perhaps you are not as fragile as I believed." As Alex left the queen's chambers, Liara met him in the corridor, her face radiant. "See? You are making your place here. They will respect you. Eventually." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with the twin suns. "Not eventually," he said. "Soon." The morning sun rose over Valaris, painting the floating gardens in shades of gold and pink. Alex awoke early, eager to continue earning his place in the royal court. Despite his successes in the first days, he knew that many in the palace still doubted him. Some nobles whispered that no human could truly understand Valerian culture, politics, or technology. But Alex had a plan. He would prove them wrong. Not by arrogance, but by action. Princess Liara found him in the courtyard, practicing basic Valerian etiquette. She had noticed the way Alex learned quickly, yet she knew that this day would test him like never before. "Good morning," she said, her voice cheerful. "Are you ready for the trials today?" Alex smiled. "As ready as I'll ever be. What's first?" Liara handed him a scroll. "You will mediate the dispute between the two northern clans. They argue over water rights for the floating gardens. If you handle it wisely, it will show the court that humans can think clearly, even in complex situations." Alex nodded. "Lead the way." The northern clans were gathered in a wide hall suspended in the sky, each group hovering on separate platforms. Water streams ran between them, and the alien architecture made the dispute appear even more complicated. The clan leaders were tall, imposing figures with shimmering skin that reflected their moods. "Human," one of them hissed. "You do not belong here. You cannot understand our ways." Alex stayed calm. "I may not know all your customs, but I understand fairness. I want to listen first and then help find a solution that works for everyone." The leaders exchanged skeptical glances. One spoke, his voice sharp and melodic. "Fairness is subjective. Each clan believes the water should flow only to their gardens. Our traditions dictate this. Why should we listen to an outsider?" Alex took a deep breath. "Because if your gardens fail, your people suffer. If both fail, everyone suffers. I'm not here to replace your customs. I am here to find a solution that protects both sides." He spent hours listening, asking questions, and observing the flow of water and energy. Unlike the aliens who often relied on ritual and status, Alex looked at practical details: the speed of the streams, the capacity of reservoirs, and the needs of the people. Slowly, he began to suggest small adjustments: redirecting some water, temporarily planting drought-resistant crops, and creating a simple communication signal for shared water use. At first, the clans resisted, shouting and shaking their arms. But as Alex explained each step, using diagrams and clear logic, the leaders began to see the wisdom in his plan. Finally, after a tense hour, they agreed to a trial period. Water flowed evenly, and both gardens thrived. When he returned to the palace, word had already spread. Nobles whispered to one another. The human actually solved the dispute. Liara met him at the door. "I am proud of you," she said. "You handled them better than anyone expected." Alex smiled but shook his head. "It was not me alone. I listened. That made the difference." That afternoon brought another challenge. A minor accident occurred in the palace. A maintenance drone had malfunctioned again, but this time it began leaking energy into one of the residential areas, threatening the homes of palace workers. Many guards froze, unsure what to do. Alex ran toward the danger without hesitation. He analyzed the drone and the flow of energy. Using a combination of Valerian containment techniques and his own human tools, he redirected the energy safely into a holding unit. No one was hurt, and the workers were grateful. Liara found him afterward, brushing off dust from his clothes. "You are amazing," she said, her eyes full of admiration. "Every day you prove yourself more." Alex chuckled. "I only hope the Queen sees it too." And she did. The Queen, who had been observing quietly from her chambers, stepped forward. "You are not just clever, human," she said. "You are courageous. You see solutions that others cannot. Perhaps you are beginning to deserve your place in Valeris." But not everyone was impressed. The palace official who had doubted Alex most, an alien named Rylax, plotted quietly. Rylax believed that a human consort could never respect the traditions of Valeris. He sought an opportunity to embarrass Alex and restore his own influence. One evening, Rylax arranged a test. He challenged Alex to a formal duel, not a fight to the death, but a demonstration of strategy and intelligence. The duel would take place in the Hall of Strategy, where leaders were judged on their ability to anticipate and respond to challenges. Alex studied the hall carefully. Unlike physical combat, this duel tested quick thinking, planning, and adaptability. Each participant had control of small drone units that could be used to block opponents, capture objectives, or solve puzzles. Many Valerians relied on speed and instinct, but Alex had something they did not: unpredictability. The duel began. Rylax moved with precision, controlling his drones with skill honed over decades. Alex observed, then acted. Using human logic, he set traps and decoys, predicting Rylax's moves in ways no Valerian expected. One by one, Alex's drones captured objectives, forcing Rylax to react rather than lead. By the final round, Rylax was flustered, unable to anticipate Alex's unconventional approach. The human won decisively. The audience gasped and Liara clapped loudly, proud of her husband. The queen nodded approvingly. "You are learning quickly, human," she said, "and you have proven your intelligence. But remember, courage alone is not enough. You must continue to earn trust every day." The next morning, the palace faced another challenge. A group of young alien apprentices had been trapped during an experiment in the upper laboratories. The emergency elevators had malfunctioned and the students were frightened. Alex did not hesitate. Using his understanding of simple human mechanics combined with the Valerian technology he had learned, he devised a method to safely lower the students to the ground. He instructed them calmly, guiding each step. Within minutes, all were safe. The palace erupted in admiration. Some nobles who had been openly hostile now approached him cautiously. "Perhaps humans are not so weak," one admitted quietly. Liara hugged him tightly. "See, Alex, you are making a difference. Not through force, but by being brave, clever, and kind." Alex smiled. "I just do what anyone would do if they cared about the people." But even as he earned respect, Alex realized he had much to learn. Valerian society was complex, full of traditions, politics, and hidden dangers. One mistake could undo all his progress. He spent long nights studying maps, learning Valerian history, and practicing customs until they became second nature. Despite the pressure, Alex never faltered in his love for Liara. She supported him, constantly, speaking up for him when others questioned his place in the palace. Their bond grew stronger each day, a quiet but powerful force that inspired others. By the end of the week, the queen summoned Alex again. "You have done well, human," she said, her tone still measured but tinged with approval. "You have solved disputes, saved lives, and proven your intelligence. Perhaps the princess did not choose poorly. But know this, these were only small tests. Greater challenges lie ahead." Alex bowed deeply. "I understand, Your Majesty. I will face whatever comes, and I will do my best for Valaris and for Liara." The queen's eyes softened slightly, though she did not smile. "Very well. Let us see if your human ways can withstand the trials of our world." As Alex walked back to Liara, the twin suns of Valaris shone brightly over the palace, reflecting off the floating gardens. For the first time, he felt not like an outsider, but like someone who could belong. He knew that there would be more challenges, more trials to test his intelligence, courage, and heart. But he was ready. Liara greeted him with a bright smile. "You are already changing hearts, Alex. The queen, the court, they will see your worth soon enough." Alex looked out at the horizon, feeling determination swell within him. "Not soon enough," he said quietly. "Today, I will prove humans are more than anyone believes. Today I begin to change Valaris forever." The halls of the Valerian palace were alive with activity. Courtiers hurried along corridors, their forearms balancing scrolls, devices, and ceremonial gifts. Floating lights glimmered overhead, illuminating murals that told the history of a civilization older than most stars. Amid this grand spectacle, Alex walked calmly beside Princess Layara, observing the customs, still trying to master every detail. It had been several weeks since Alex arrived in Valaris. By now, many in the palace began to respect him, though not all. Some nobles still whispered, questioning whether a human could truly understand the intricate ways of Valerian society. Others were outright hostile, believing his presence threatened tradition. Alex could feel their eyes on him constantly, their scrutiny like an invisible weight. Liara noticed his unease. "Ignore them," she whispered, slipping her hand into his. "You have already proven yourself more than anyone expected. Let them watch. They will learn eventually." Alex nodded, smiling faintly. "I just hope it is soon. I want to help, not just survive." The first sign of real challenge came at the Royal Council meeting. Leaders from various Valerian territories gathered to discuss trade, defense, and alliances. The Queen presided over the council, her gray eyes sharp and commanding. "Human," Rylax said with barely disguised contempt, "you have been present in our courts for weeks. Do you truly believe you understand our ways? Can you speak on matters of governance and strategy as we do?" Alex met Rylax's glare evenly. "I may not know every tradition or custom, but I observe, I learn, and I think. My perspective is different, but that can be valuable. I want to contribute, not disrespect." The Queen raised an eyebrow, letting the exchange unfold. "Very well. Speak, human. Show us what you can offer." Alex began carefully, suggesting methods to streamline resource distribution across distant territories. He combined human reasoning with Valerian principles. For example, he proposed a rotational system for water flow that would prevent droughts without violating clan rights. Some council members nodded in interest while others murmured disapproval. Rylax's eyes narrowed. "That is simplistic. Valerian society requires nuanced judgment and ritual. You cannot replace centuries of tradition with logic." Alex remained calm. "I am not replacing tradition. I am offering a new approach alongside it. Logic can complement tradition without destroying it." The Queen's lips curved slightly, barely a smile. "Perhaps, human, you are beginning to understand. Tradition and innovation can coexist, but only if you respect both." Later that day, Alex faced another test. The annual celebration of lights, a ritual central to Valerian culture. Every noble had to participate, performing precise movements with glowing instruments, following exact timing. Mistakes were considered dishonorable. Alex had practiced diligently, yet he still stumbled. His movements were slightly off, his timing imperfect. The court tensed, anticipating embarrassment. But then something remarkable happened. Instead of judging him harshly, Princess Layara guided him subtly, adjusting his motions with gentle cues. When the final ceremony came, Alex performed alongside the Valerians. He was not perfect, but his earnest effort impressed the audience. Even the Queen nodded in approval, and some nobles whispered, "He is trying, and he honors our culture by learning it." After the ceremony, Alex spoke with Layara privately. "I feel like an outsider every time," he admitted. Layara smiled softly. "You will always be a human here, Alex. That is your strength. You see what we cannot, think how we do not, and act when others hesitate. Embrace who you are and they will respect it." Alex considered her words, realizing that his differences, once seen as weaknesses, were actually assets. The next challenge arrived in the form of a natural disaster. A storm unlike any Valerian history book had recorded approached the palace. Floating gardens shivered in the wind, and streams of glowing water began to surge uncontrollably. The Valerians struggled to contain the energy, unsure how to prevent destruction. Alex acted immediately. He studied the flow of the water and energy streams, noticing patterns the Valerians overlooked. Using a combination of human intuition and the Valerian technology he had learned, he devised temporary barriers and energy channels. His plan was unconventional, relying on timing and creative solutions rather than standard Valerian methods. The storm struck with full force, but thanks to Alex's quick thinking, The palace remained intact. The floating garden sustained minimal damage and no one was harmed. Nobles who had doubted him stared in astonishment. Rylax scowled. A human saved the palace. How? Alex shrugged modestly. I only used what I know and combined it with what I learned here. Sometimes seeing differently makes all the difference. The queen stepped forward, her voice carrying through the grand hall. You have proven, human, that your kind is not to be underestimated. Cleverness, courage, and adaptability are strengths, no matter the species. The palace owes you gratitude. Liara's eyes sparkled with pride. See? You are changing minds already. Even as Alex earned respect, cultural clashes continued. He introduced small human innovations, like more efficient water pumps for the floating gardens and a way to store excess energy for emergencies. While many were curious, some nobles frowned at the changes. Rylax approached him privately. Your inventions. They are clever, yes. But they disrupt tradition. You must choose conform or be cast aside. Alex looked at him calmly. I respect Valerian traditions. I also believe that helping your people, even in new ways, honors them. Innovation is not disrespect. It is improvement. Rylax glared, but could not refute Alex's success. A more subtle challenge came from diplomacy. Valaris had allies and rivals in nearby star systems. One neighboring planet, known for its cunning leaders, had begun testing Valaris by sending mixed signals, both threatening and friendly messages. The council debated endlessly, uncertain how to respond. Alex offered a solution, a human-style negotiation combining diplomacy with psychological observation. He suggested sending carefully worded messages to gauge intent while preparing defensive measures quietly. The Valerians were skeptical but agreed to try. The plan worked. The rival planet responded cautiously, revealing their intentions without conflict. Many council members were impressed by the balance of caution and clever strategy. Alex had navigated political waters that many Valerians struggled to understand. That evening, Liara and Alex walked through the palace gardens. The twin suns had set, leaving the gardens bathed in soft blue light from the floating lanterns. You are changing this place, Liara said, leaning into him. Not just because you are clever, but because you care. Valerians respect results and integrity, even if they do not admit it openly. Alex smiled. I hope the queen will see it too. I want her to trust me completely. Liara squeezed his hand. She will, in time. But it is not just her. Every person you help, every problem you solve, they all see your worth. They may not say it, but it grows in their hearts. Alex thought about his journey so far. He had faced skepticism, tests, and challenges unlike anything on Earth. Yet each day, he learned, adapted, and proved the strength of human ingenuity. And he realized that this was only the beginning. Weeks passed, and Alex continued to make his mark. Nobles who once whispered against him now sought his advice. Guards and workers admired his courage and quick thinking. Even Rylax, though unwilling to admit it, began to acknowledge the human's talents. One day, the queen summoned Alex for a private audience. She studied him carefully, her sharp eyes reflecting wisdom and authority. You have done well, human, she said. You have learned our ways, respected our culture, and contributed in ways unexpected. Yet I wonder, can you maintain this balance? Your kind is different. You act, feel, and think differently than Valerians. Will your methods always protect our people? Alex met her gaze firmly. I cannot promise perfection. I am not Valerian. But I can promise that I will always try, always learn, and always act to protect Valaris and the people I care about. That is all anyone can do. The queen studied him silently for a long moment, then inclined her head slightly. Perhaps you are beginning to earn the trust that you were once denied. Continue as you are, human. Show us that your kind has more to offer than we imagined. Alex bowed. Thank you, Your Majesty. I will not fail you. Or Princess Liara. As he left the audience chamber, Liara waited for him. Did she say it? He asked. a hint of hope in his voice. She said enough, Liara replied, smiling. Trust grows slowly, Alex. You have planted the seeds. Soon, they will bloom. Alex looked out over the floating gardens, bathed in the glow of the setting suns. He had survived cultural clashes, diplomacy, disasters, and skepticism. He had proven that humans, though different, could not only adapt but excel. And he knew that the next challenges would be even greater, challenges that would test his courage, ingenuity, and heart in ways he could not yet imagine. But Alex was ready. Because humans were not weak, humans were clever, adaptable, and fearless when needed. And in Valaris he would continue to prove it, one act of courage, one solution at a time. The twin suns of Valaris shone brightly, reflecting off the floating gardens and crystalline towers of the palace. For a few days the kingdom had enjoyed calm skies and laughter in the halls. But that peace was about to shatter. A scout ship arrived at the palace gates, moving faster than Valerian technology typically allowed. The crew reported an approaching fleet from the Drakari Empire, a ruthless alien race that had conquered multiple star systems. Their message was simple: surrender Valaris or face destruction. The Queen's gray eyes narrowed as she read the holographic transmission. They underestimate us, she said softly. Her voice carried through the council chamber, where nobles and generals gathered, panic and tension mingling in the air. Rylax, the skeptical noble, spoke first. A human cannot help against this threat. We need our strongest Valerian leaders and weapons. He is untested in true battle. Liara, standing beside Alex, shook her head firmly. Alex has proven himself time and again. He understands strategy, people, and unexpected solutions. He can help, if we allow him. The Queen regarded Alex carefully. Very well, human. You will join the council and provide your insight. But understand this. Failure means more than embarrassment. Failure could mean death for thousands. Alex bowed respectfully. I understand, Your Majesty. I will do my best to protect Valaris. The council convened immediately. Holographic images of the Drakari fleet filled the chamber. They were massive, heavily armored ships bristling with weapons. Valaris had defenses, but they were not designed for a fleet this large. Panic whispered through the room as nobles debated. Strategy. Alex stepped forward. We cannot defeat them using only conventional tactics, he said calmly. But we can use their assumptions against them. The Drakari believe they are superior. We can make them fight on our terms. Rylax scowled. Explain. How does a human propose to fight a fleet of elite warriors? Alex took a deep breath. We must be unpredictable, divide their attention, use decoys, hidden channels, and unconventional maneuvers. Hit them where they are weakest. Humans are not stronger physically, but we can outthink them. Outthink them and adapt faster than they expect. The Queen listened, intrigued despite herself. Continue. Alex outlined a plan. Small Valerian ships would act as decoys, drawing part of the Drakari fleet into ambush zones. Energy fields and gravitational distortions in the outer space near Valaris would be manipulated to confuse enemy navigation. Meanwhile, Valerian soldiers would strike at key command centers using timing and deception, not brute force. Some nobles whispered nervously. Risky, reckless, human arrogance. Liara placed her hand on Alex's shoulder. It is clever. It is necessary. Trust him, Mother. The Queen studied Alex for a long moment, then nodded. Very well. We will follow this plan. Human, you lead the tactical operations. The preparation began immediately. Alex worked side by side with Valerian engineers and soldiers. They constructed decoy ships, trained small squads for infiltration, and monitored the gravitational fields near Valaris. Alex taught them human methods for problem-solving under pressure, improvisation, observation, and anticipation of enemy behavior. At first, some soldiers struggled with his ideas. This will not work, one muttered, shaking his forearms. Alex knelt and demonstrated patiently. Think differently. Observe, adapt, and act when the enemy makes a mistake. We cannot control everything, but we can control how we respond. Slowly, even the skeptics began to follow his lead. The combination of human ingenuity and Valerian technology began to take shape. The Drakari fleet arrived sooner than expected. Their ships darkened the skies, moving like a shadow over the crystal towers. Civilians watched from below, fear etched into their faces. Guards stood tense, ready but uncertain. Alex remained calm. He had studied the enemy, mapped the battlefield, and prepared contingencies for every likely scenario. Deploy the decoys, he ordered. Valerian ships sped forward, drawing the attention of part of the Drakari fleet. The enemy, expecting a straightforward battle, took the bait. At the same time, Alex's hidden squads activated gravitational distortions in energy fields, confusing the Drakari sensors and navigation systems. The Drakari were caught off guard. Their larger ships stumbled, some colliding or slowing unexpectedly. Alex had predicted these effects and guided the Valerian attack precisely. As the battle escalated, Rylax watched in disbelief. I cannot believe a human orchestrated this. And it works. Liara, standing beside him, smiled quietly. He is human, he sees possibilities we often miss. Alex directed the Valerian forces like a master conductor. Decoy ships drew the enemy into traps. Small, fast Valerian craft disabled key Drakari weapons. Hidden squads infiltrated command centers, sabotaging controls. All the while, Alex anticipated. The Drakari reactions staying one step ahead. Even the Queen could not hide her admiration. Perhaps humans are more than we believed, she muttered. The climax of the battle came when a massive Drakari dreadnought aimed directly at the palace. Its weapons were powerful enough to obliterate entire sections of Valaris. Most Valerians panicked, unsure how to stop it. Alex acted instantly. Using both human improvisation and Valerian technology, he devised a maneuver. By drawing the dreadnought into a gravitational field he had prepared and coordinating a precise strike on its engines, he caused it to spin out of control. The dreadnought crashed into an empty sector, disabled but intact. Its destruction a warning to the rest of the fleet. The Drakari, shocked and demoralized, began retreating. Valaris had survived. After the battle, the palace was filled with celebration. Civilians cheered, nobles whispered in astonishment, and soldiers honored Alex for his leadership. The Queen called a council immediately. She studied Alex, her gray eyes softening. You have done what many believed impossible, she said. Not through strength alone, but through intelligence, courage, and adaptability. You have saved Valaris. Liara approached Alex, her face radiant. I told you, Mother. He is remarkable. Rylax, though reluctant, bowed slightly. Human, you have proven your worth beyond doubt. The Drakari will think twice before underestimating Valaris, or your kind. Alex smiled humbly. I did what anyone would do to protect the people I care about. The Queen nodded. Humans are not like us. They think differently, act differently, but perhaps that difference is a strength. Alex, you have shown that courage and intelligence can come in forms we never imagined. That evening, Alex walked with Liara through the floating gardens. Fires of celebration flickered across the sky, and the twin moons rose gently. You saved more than the palace, Liara said softly. You saved the people's faith. You showed that humans can stand with Valaris as equals. Alex looked out, over the city, reflecting on the day's events. I just used what I know, what I've learned, and what I believe in. Humans have survived for a long time because we adapt, we learn, and we never give up. Valaris is no different. We just had to find the right way to use our strengths. Liara squeezed his hand. And you did it brilliantly. The kingdom owes you more than words can say. Alex smiled, looking at the horizon. The Drakari threat had been neutralized for now. But he knew this was only one of many challenges. The universe was vast, full of dangers, and humans had much to prove. Yet for the first time he felt truly respected, not just by the princess, but by the Queen, the court, and the people of Valaris. Humans were not weak. Humans were clever, resourceful, and courageous. And in this alien world he had proven it. As the celebrations continued, Alex knew that the next trials would test him in ways he could not yet imagine: politics, loyalty, and even love itself. But he was ready. Humans always were. The palace of Valaris had never felt so alive. The twin suns reflected off the crystal towers, casting shimmering patterns across the floating gardens. Birds with translucent wings sang from the treetops, and the streets buzzed with activity. News of the Drakari retreat spread quickly, and the kingdom rejoiced. But amid the celebration, one question lingered quietly in the minds of many nobles. Could a human truly belong in Valaris? Alex walked beside Princess Liara, observing the joyful chaos. He had proven his intelligence, courage, and adaptability time and again, yet some skeptics remained. Still, he felt a quiet confidence. Humans had survived and thrived on Earth by thinking differently, by adapting, and by standing together. That same human spirit had earned respect here in Valaris. Liara looked at him, her eyes bright. Today is the day, Alex. The Queen has summoned the court for a final audience. I think she intends to make an announcement about you. Alex nodded. I hope it is good news. I want to be more than just a visitor. I want to belong. The grand hall of Valaris was filled with nobles, council members, soldiers, and citizens who had been invited to witness the occasion. Crystal chandeliers floated above, casting light that danced across the polished floors. At the far end, Queen Alara sat on her throne, her expression calm, yet commanding. Today we celebrate not only the safety of our kingdom, but also the courage and ingenuity that protected us, the Queen began, her voice carrying across the hall. Among those who contributed, one stands out. Not Valerian, not trained in our ways by birth, yet demonstrating loyalty, intelligence, and bravery beyond expectation. All eyes turned to Alex. He stepped forward, bowing respectfully. The room was silent, waiting for the Queen's words. The Queen continued. Many of you doubted him. Some of you feared what you did not understand. But today we have seen proof. Humans are not weak, nor are they incapable. This human, Alex, has saved our kingdom, protected our people, and earned his place among us. Gasps and murmurs filled the hall. Some nobles looked surprised, others whispered in admiration, and a few still exchanged skeptical glances. Liara's voice rang out clearly. Mother, he is not only capable, he is my husband, and I stand by my choice. He belongs with us in Valaris as a partner, a protector, and a friend. The Queen's gray eyes softened. She regarded Alex carefully, weighing her words. Finally, she spoke. Then it is settled. Alex, human of Earth. You are recognized as a consort of the royal family of Valaris. Your actions have earned the respect of this court and the people of our kingdom. You are one of us. The hall erupted in applause. Nobles who had doubted him now approached, offering nods of respect and cautious smiles. Even Rylax, who had been most hostile, bowed slightly. You have proven yourself human. Valaris is stronger for your presence. Alex bowed deeply. Thank you, Your Majesty. I am honored and humbled. I will continue to serve Valaris and Princess Liara faithfully. Liara rushed forward, wrapping her arms around him. See? I told you, Alex. They believe in you now. Truly. The next days were filled with festivities. The kingdom celebrated not just the victory over the Drakari, but also the union of human and Valerian. Music filled the air as floating lanterns glimmered, dancing in the twilight. Citizens brought gifts and flowers to Alex, honoring him for his courage and ingenuity. Alex found himself walking through the streets, observing the people he had helped protect. Children ran to him, eager to hear stories of the battle. Soldiers asked for advice, curious about his human methods. Even nobles sought his guidance in matters of trade, diplomacy, and strategy. Liara followed him, smiling. You are changing. Valaris, Alex. not just with your actions but with your ideas. People see what humans can do, and it inspires them. Alex nodded, watching a group of young Valerians practicing tactics he had taught them. It is not me alone. They are learning, adapting, just as humans do. Valerians are clever. Mix that with human ideas and you get something stronger than either alone. A few weeks later, a delegation from a nearby allied planet arrived, curious to meet the human who had helped defend Valeris. They were skeptical at first, but Alex's calm, intelligent manner quickly impressed them. He discussed trade, shared strategies for defense, and offered insights that even the most experienced Valerian diplomats found valuable. After the meeting, one of the delegates approached Alex. "Your kind is remarkable. I underestimated humans. You have shown creativity, courage, and the ability to lead. Valeris is fortunate to have you." Alex smiled politely. "Thank you. Humans survive by adapting and thinking ahead. I only hope to continue helping Valeris in the same way." Liara squeezed his hand. "You see? Everywhere you go, humans make an impact." Despite the celebrations, Alex remained humble. He spent time learning more about Valerian culture, listening to the people and understanding the kingdom's needs. He studied their technology, their art, and even their traditions. Though he had adapted quickly, he never stopped learning. One day, while walking through the floating gardens, Alex noticed a small group of nobles arguing. They were discussing resource distribution and trade agreements, things Alex had helped improve in previous weeks. He stepped forward, offering a suggestion that combined Valerian protocols with a human method of efficiency and fairness. The nobles listened carefully, then nodded. Some smiled, others clapped quietly. One even remarked, "Perhaps humans do have wisdom to share after all." Liara beamed at him. "You are not just accepted, Alex. You are respected." Alex looked around at the floating gardens, the sparkling water, and the citizens going about their lives. He felt a deep sense of belonging, a feeling he had not experienced even on Earth. As the days turned into weeks, the Queen officially recognized Alex's role not just as a consort, but as an advisor. He worked closely with the council, helping plan defenses, develop trade strategies, and ensure the well-being of the people. His human perspective complemented Valerian knowledge, creating solutions that no one could have achieved alone. Relax. Once his greatest critic approached him one evening. "I admit it, human, you have changed this kingdom for the better. Your methods, they work. Valeris is stronger because of you." Alex smiled humbly. "Thank you, Rylax. I only want to help." Liara, watching nearby, whispered to him, "Even your enemies respect you now. You have truly earned your place." The final moment of triumph came during a grand ceremony in the palace's central hall. The Queen stood before the gathered citizens, nobles, and council members. "Valeris has survived because of courage, intelligence, and unity," she said. "And today, we recognize that strength comes not only from tradition, but also from new perspectives. Alex, human of Earth, you have proven that your kind has value beyond expectation. You are now fully part of Valeris, a symbol of unity and progress." Alex stepped forward, bowing to the Queen, then to the people. "I am honored, Your Majesty. I will continue to serve Valeris and Princess Liara faithfully, and I will always act in the best interests of this kingdom and its people." The crowd erupted in applause, cheering for the human who had changed the course of Valeris history. Liara embraced him, tears of joy in her eyes. "You belong here, Alex. You always have." That evening, Alex and Liara walked through the palace gardens, now quiet under the soft light of the twin moons. The floating lanterns cast a gentle glow, and the air was filled with the scent of alien flowers. "You did it," Liara said softly. "You proved humans are not weak, that love and courage can overcome doubt and fear." Alex smiled. "It was not just me. I had you, your people, and the lessons of both worlds. Humans survive because we adapt, think, and act when it matters. That is what helped me here. And now, I belong. Truly." Liara leaned against him, her eyes reflecting the light of the lanterns. And together, we will continue to make Valaris stronger. For the kingdom, and for everyone in it. Alex looked out over the city, the floating gardens and the citizens who now trusted him. He felt a deep pride, not in himself, but in what humans and Valerians together could achieve. The Queen approached them quietly, her expression soft. "Who is that?" she asked, smiling faintly as she looked at Alex. Liara's voice rang out clearly, full of pride and joy. "The human I married." This time, the words were met with admiration, respect, and acceptance. The kingdom of Valaris had embraced him, not just as a consort or advisor, but as a symbol of unity, courage, and the boundless potential of humanity. Alex felt a sense of peace he had never known on Earth. He had faced doubt, danger, and challenge, and had risen above it all. Humans were not weak. Humans were clever, adaptable, and strong, and in Valaris he had proven it for all to see. As the twin moons rose high over the floating city, Alex and Liara stood together, hand in hand. Their journey had been long, their trials great, but the future shone brightly. The human had found his place and in doing so had changed an entire kingdom forever.